Hey everyone, welcome to the Geek Envy Podcast, episode 41. My name is Matt, and this podcast is about video games, geek culture, and anything else we feel like talking about. We are back with a full crew today. We got everybody.
Woo! All four of us.
We are joined by the man with the deep, resonant, silky smooth voice, Joey.
It's me.
We're also joined by the lively and lovely Courtney.
Aw, thanks. You're lovely.
And the prodigal son returns, the bold, nay, the beautiful, Eric.
Why, thank you.
Not using last names is always so weird.
It is. I know. I want to say the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I don't even remember Eric's last name, so it's fine.
I remember, but it's not good. Anyways. We got a great show lined up for you all today. We are going to jump right back in to, I believe we left off last time and missed a bit from Eric. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Courtney, and you can lead us in.
All right, so last episode we talked about our gaming memories with the 7th generation of consoles, which was the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii, Nintendo 3DS, and the PlayStation Vita. We first caught up with Matt, who walked us through his first systems because he missed the previous episode. And then we all caught up together. And now we're going to actually ask Eric to walk us through what he owned in the 7th generation since he missed the last episode.
Oh, man.
So, Eric...
And there's like a lot of like judgment.
I missed the good one.
You did miss the good one.
The last episode.
Yeah, there is a lot of judgment because I didn't sleep or I don't have a life.
Well, at least I didn't fall asleep, right?
Okay, guys, I was
Right.
really tired.
So, Eric, if you would please do us the pleasure of just reviewing the games that you had in the 7th generation and our games, what systems and the games you had for those systems.
Well,
what were your memories with them?
Well, this might be a long run because the 7th generation was the one generation I was completely invested in. So,
well, let it go, man. Tell us about
let
it.
it rip. All right.
Let her rip.
So, I guess I'll start with the list here. So, Xbox 360 owned the first release of that, the Elite Black, that red ring to death like 4 times before I gave up on it.
Did you put it in the oven?
No, I did not.
Like wrap it in a towel, put it in the oven trick?
No, I did not do the oven trick.
Well,
actually, some people just turned it on, wrapped in a t-shirt, not even sticking it in an oven. That was supposed to do like what they called cold joints, or like I think that's what it is, where the solder wasn't properly done right. So you put it in an oven or you warm it up until it melts and kind of resettles.
You got to bake that 360.
Yeah, it was supposed to fix it for a little bit, but then it just continued, and there was no point in even continuing to try that fight. Had a PlayStation 3. Actually, again, multiple versions of it. I had the 20 gigabyte when it first came out. Then I think I had a 60 because it was also fully backwards compatible with all the little memory card slots and all those other things.
That's totally wild, 20 gigabytes.
Yeah, I know, right? Now we're like 500. Pff, give me like 4 terabytes.
I know, like you buy like a 150 gigabyte micro SD card, and you're like, ah, man, I kind of, I didn't want to break the bank.
Also went to a slim version of the PS3 after, and actually still have that one somewhere. Nintendo Wii, still own it. I never went through the different variations of the Nintendo Wii. I think there was like the classic white one that came out. Then they had the one without the GameCube slots, and they had a black one, and then they had the... Does anyone remember the Nintendo Mii Mini? I think it was. It was like
red.
The Canadian red one or something?
Yeah, it had nothing, like no hardware slot, no memory slot. It bombed completely bad, but no, I did not have that. Mm-hmm. Nintendo 3DS, I did not have a fat version of the original Nintendo 3DS. I went straight to the... what was the one after that?
The
DS Lite?
The 3DS.
The XL?
Yeah, so there was the DS and the DS Lite, and the original DS was the thick one, which you're thinking of. The 3DS only came in the 3DS, then there was the new 3DS, and there's also the 2DS.
Right.
Oh, and the 2DS XL. Those are all the 3DS versions.
Dear God.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
3DS XL.
That I know of. I mean, there might be more.
So I had a 3DS XL.
Okay.
I had the new 3DS. and that's where I've last stopped.
Mm.
And then PlayStation Vita, I've had both versions, the 1000 Fat, the 2000 Slim, and I've got like 3 2000s. Anyway, long story short, I've just given you a complete rundown of every system I owned, and that's probably not that interesting at all. But hey, you're trying to figure out what I had, and
Yep.
No, those are all interesting too. You have to have those systems to play the game. So
And to cut in, because last time we talked to you, a lot of what you were getting was hand-me-downs. So was this like the generation you were spending your own money on this stuff?
yeah, actually, that's the biggest point, and probably why I went so hard in terms of buying every system and kind of almost every game that came out and released, was because this is when I had established, I guess, my own job and my own kind of like money, and I could buy the things I wanted. I wanted brand new systems, and I wanted every game that came out on every system, regardless of how much it cost or if it was even fun.
Time to spend.
That's right. So yeah, it was the one generation where it was owned by me, but because I worked for it. So hence every system. But in terms of games, I mean, a lot of them have kind of meaning to me, because not just because they're video games, and some of them have great stories, but also because of that. So I bought them with my own money, and it's a
sentimental value.
large sentimental value, even though Xbox 360 games are like $3 a piece now, and I'm like, I cry in the $60 per new game that I spent, when they first came out, like modern.
we don't think about it. Just don't think about it.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you want to start off with any major titles? Like, was there anything on the PlayStation 3 that was notable for you that you played?
Almost during this generation, I don't know if it was the same thing with you guys too, and I'll touch on the PS3. But the reason I'm bringing up this next point is more so when the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came out around this period. For me, it was a large shift from being a PlayStation, I guess, fanboy in a way, right? So PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, I never touched the original Xbox, but when the 360 came out, they implemented online gaming kind of a lot quicker. Everything was just coming out. My whole shift went towards like 360 for a long time. I didn't buy anything PS3 related.
Mm-hmm.
So was this the same for you guys too? I mean, I picked up a 360 before the PS3.
I did as well.
I did too, but it came out a year before, so you had kind of like more time to do it.
Well, that's what I mean too, right? So it had its own kind of like head start. So any multiplayer game I bought, it was always gonna be on 360. Any like single player game, I would buy on like the PS.
That's actually a good point. Like, I remember that if it came out on both, I would always get, if I was gonna play it online, I'd get it on 360 because the online was just so much better.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, all the games that I got that I had memories with were all online. Halo 2, or Halo 3, Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Left 4 Dead
Gears
was
of War.
Yeah, see, so all these huge like AAA title games, huge multiplayer online communities. It was just, I went to that. That was like my go-to. I would always go to the 360 over the PlayStation 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have, I guess, it was two different experiences in one generation for me. It was the online multiplaying that I was never, I guess, a big part of beforehand, because the original Xbox had it, right? You were able to play
Right.
Halo on it. Even the GameCube, I think, even had some online capability with what?
The PS2 did also. You just had to get that like network adapter.
Yeah, that huge box that was like the size of the PS2 itself, right?
Yeah.
But it was kind of that first real generation to me where the online play was actually possible in that way, and it was just fun to do. But there was also so many games that came out single player wise that if I bought on the PlayStation 3, it was just an amazing story. And so great experiences with both, but two different experiences as well.
Mm-hmm.
Enter.
So, did you have any single player games that you were notable?
Oh, yeah. Awesome single player experiences. I mean, we had the whole Uncharted series, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was huge in and of itself. God of War 3, which is that huge cinematic move from the PlayStation 2 to the 3. Even games like Heavy Rain, that in and of itself was this kind of like brand new field, right? We've had other games like it.
Yeah, Courtney was big into Heavy Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Jason!
Jason!
It sounds like does this mean like you kind of took a break from JRPGs after PS2?
No, I mean I still had them. I bought them, not necessarily actually played through them all.
Gotcha.
Like Ni no Kuni, even the Tales of Grace's F, Resonance of Fate, Tales of Xillia. I have all of them. But the case is, I was just in that kind of multiplayer. I would rather pick up Modern Warfare 2 and play a hardcore deathmatch than I would,
This was like Eric's phase when he like tried to act like he didn't like anime, and he like was really trying to convince himself, but then eventually
He
the
was
darker urges just won
Yup.
over.
He said it's time to grow up.
It's time to teabag somebody.
I'm in that boat as well.
No, but I mean, even if we move away from Modern Warfare, you have like Left 4 Dead, which was great. It was one of those just pick up and play. You can 20 minutes. Was it like 20 to 30 minutes to go through one of the 4 different levels?
Yeah, that game was really cool. I really wish Valve would make games still.
I really wish Left 4 Dead 3 would come out, right?
They were teasing it.
Yeah, well, so they teased Dead Island 2 too for like 5 years now. That game's not coming out. That was
Right, well.
that was a great game too. Xbox 360.
That's true.
Anyway, so we're gonna move away from that. I think the biggest part of my collecting and playing through some of the main games that stood out to me was the handhelds, like the 3DS and the Vita. So I had skipped every generation of Pokemon from maybe Game Boy Color up until I got a DS and started playing all those games again.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they brought over Heart Gold, Silver, games that I had missed, and the newer generation, like not Diamond and Pearl, but what was X and Y. X and Y.
Black and White.
No, the Black and White and Black and White 1 and 2 were still on the DS.
Yeah.
But when the 3DS came out, you had X and Y. Was it Alpha? Not Alpha. What were the other two that were?
Sapphire.
Yeah, thank you. Ruby and Sapphire. But
It was like Omega Ruby,
and Alpha Sapphire. There we go.
something like that. Yeah.
And lastly, the PlayStation Vita. I was a huge PSP fan. I got the PlayStation Vita, and it was the handheld RPG machine that I always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked about it in previous versions of the podcast where I made it a point to try to collect almost every single PlayStation Vita game. I've stopped because I just couldn't keep up with it anymore, and a lot of the games were coming harder and harder to find, but I still have a whole 100+ PlayStation Vita games sitting there.
Very nice. You still play your Vita?
No, it lost out to the Switch once I got the Switch, and I try to maintain picking up the Vita every now and then. But on a side note to both Matt and Joey, if you still have your Vitas, they're fully hackable now, even on the newest firmware.
No comment.
We done did it.
Oh,
wait. No comment.
Anyway. But that's it. Yep.
That was it. And anything on the Wii?
Funny thing about the Wii is that thing collected dust for years. I think I played it when it first came out, right? Twilight Princess, the new Super Mario Brothers. Was it 1 or 2? Probably New Super Mario Brothers 1. And great games when they, super interesting in using the Wii remote and the whole nunchuck and like I'm super cool, I can flick this. And I think I spent more time on Wii Sports than anything else.
Yeah. Got really good at Wii bowling. Not good at actual bowling.
Tennis.
There was like a weird flick of the wrist when you would like throw your wrist like sideways and it would get a strike every time.
Yeah, you had to do it was like twisting it, right?
I was like, this would never work in real bowling. It would just be like in someone's face.
You just break your wrist.
But no, I ended up putting it away for a while, and then it resurfaced when I was able to hack it. I think I went through the whole process with Matt like 2 years ago, in which I broke open the whole thing and created a whole backup hard drive of GameCube games and Wii games.
Very nice. You just like to destroy perfect things, don't you?
Well,
Y'all just want to hack all these beautiful, perfect systems.
What is this, a Fight Club quote right now? I felt like destroying something beautiful.
Yes.
Come on, Courtney.
Actually. All right.
No, but you know,
call me out.
You know what? After it's reached its life cycle, I don't feel as bad going back and kind of opening it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like during the PSP cycle, it was a huge thing with being, hackable, or while it was still an active machine, but the Wii was not going to get any use, and I figured, why not? The PS Vita at this point, Sony has neglected and sidelined, so why not?
Why not? All right. Well, I guess that finishes up your instances with the 7th generation.
Yes.
Do you have any other recollections you'd like to share?
No, I think the biggest part of the 7th generation to me was, again, multiplayer, and it's kind of one of those things that even though I know it exists in this generation and a lot of the games have it, and although it's more paid than anything else, I just don't find the urge to go back and jump on and get told my mother's gonna get banged tonight and other things like that. But it's just, I feel like I've lived the peak era of online consoles.
It was a good time.
It was the golden age.
It definitely was a good time.
It was the golden age.
My favorite is, "You're a girl? No." Yup.
Showered in gifts. No, but I mean, that was the whole thing too. There's always memes about it, talking about like kids these days are too soft, and that they would never be able to live through the Xbox Live era of the 360.
I think I've gone too soft. I don't know if I could live through it again.
But yes, that was an interesting time.
It was a good time. Well, then I am going to go ahead and bridge our way to the 8th generation, and we have Eric caught up, so now we can all join in together in harmony, all 4 of us.
Oh, look at us.
I know. And so with the 8th generation, that started in 2012 and is currently going on to the present, so it's our current generation. We're first going to start off with the Wii U, which was released November 18th, 2012. And I'm going to go ahead and let you start again, Eric, since we love to hear the sound of your voice. Did you own a Wii U? Did you play anything on it? Do you want one?
I did not have one of these things. I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. But I actually do want one now, just because I want to play the last few games on it that haven't... Well, actually, you know what? Let me take all of that back. I don't want one anymore, because everything that's on it has come to the Switch at this point.
That's true.
What?
There's nothing left. Please point out something that is left on there to play. Aside
Tokyo
from,
Mirage,
I knew that was coming.
Oh my
Xenoblade
God.
Chronicles X.
I was just about to say, name something that wasn't Tokyo Mirage. But yes, one game does not... I've never been that person to get a system just for one game. I know they talk about system sellers like Uncharted was, or Demon Souls was.
Halo.
Ocarina of Time.
Last of Us, yes. Okay, I could keep going, but I've never been a person to buy a system just for one game. So I will not buy a Wii U, even for whatchamacallit, Dolphin U exists. If you need me to go any further on that, sure, but I won't.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Matt, how about you? What's your Wii U story?
Well, I honestly, I don't know what it was with the Wii U, but somehow I missed the launch.
You slept through it, didn't you?
Yeah, like I've always been really involved in video games. Like when something's going to launch, I'm like all ready for it. The Wii U, I was talking with my wife. I think I was dating her at the time, and we went to a GameStop, and she's like, "Oh, let's get a Wii U," and I was like, "A what?" And then I looked up, and I was like, "Oh, there's a new Nintendo system," and then so we bought it, but it had already been out.
Yeah,
so,
I don't remember much about the Wii U's campaign whatsoever.
Yeah, it must have been a terrible launch, because I literally remember nothing about it.
Well, because it got caught up in the whole fact of people thinking it was just a new release of the Wii.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It was
That's.
like-
I think that's what I thought it was at first. Is that it was just like, it was like the Wii Extreme or something. I don't know. Like it had better graphics or something. Like it was faster.
Right, like they did with 3DS.
Yeah, and they did that with like the 64 too. You had to get that like expansion drive and everything in it. You don't remember that, the expansion drive? Anyways,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it's a talk for another time. But then once I got it, I liked it. I didn't really like that Fisher Price thing, the like screen, very much. It just felt so like chintzy, and I have a pretty nice TV, and I did then too. And when you look at the screen versus your TV, it was like kind of looked like kind of yellow. Wasn't the greatest. However, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Xenoblade Chronicle X, and Super Mario 3D World, I played a lot of those. So, and those are all great games that I think they should probably port to Switch because they would do well now. For sure.
Well,
Yeah,
aren't we
that
already
would be
getting
great.
some of these? Well, Xenoblade Chronicles I know was teased at some point. Super Mario, we're getting Super Mario Maker 2. I know that we're not getting Super Mario Maker.
So
World.
that's a new game,
Yes, but it's essentially the same game.
but it's not Super Mario 3D World.
I know. I was just about to say that.
That game was fun. It was like,
But wait a
It
minute.
was-
What's the one with the where you put on Peach's crown and you become like Peachette, or the whole Bowsette thing that happened? Wasn't that new Super?
that's on the new one that's coming out, I think, isn't it?
I have no.
Yeah, that's a new thing. That's super recent. So this one, like, you had like a cat costume or something.
Oh, that's right.
And it was like 2D but 3D at the same time. So you kind of played these like vignette 3D levels that you could kind of do. It was kind of like a marriage of the two. It was a lot of fun,
Okay.
and it was completely co-op. So my wife and I actually beat the whole thing together, which made it fun. So
That's very lovely. What a nice date night.
so lovely.
So lovely. Alrighty. Then I guess we'll go to Joey. Did you have a Wii U?
Yeah, I got it at some point, and I don't know. I kind of I thought it was cool at first, like the idea of an additional screen, and then I think it does get underwhelming once you try it out with a few games, or it becomes it's not like something that's useful at a certain point, because you're like, oh great, I have to fixate my eyes on a tinier screen and then go look back up at the screen. So I didn't use it very often. I've owned like 3 or 4 Wii U's just because I always thought I would play the games on them, like Xenoblade and even the Super Mario games. But I own one now, and I got it specifically to play Tokyo Mirage Sessions, because I had started that game in the past and never finished it. And now that I'm halfway through Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I can say that it's not really worth getting a Wii U again for.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's my story. So it's sitting here, and maybe I'll find some use for it yet.
Did you beat Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Nah, I'm like in chapter 4 of 6. I just finished chapter 4. Sorry, there's like really loud motorcycles going down the street.
All right. But you didn't play anything else? Just
No,
Tokyo
I tried to dabble in 3D Mario. I'm not a super big 3D Mario person, sadly.
it's
And
only fun
then-
if you play it with your wife.
I'm sure it would be more fun with someone else. Yeah. What about you, Cor?
So I got the Breath of the Wild, or not, I'm sorry. Oh no, the
Twilight.
Wind Waker, the Wind
Oh,
Waker
Wind
Wii U.
Ooh, that was a
And
nice one.
It was a beautiful one, and I really just bought the system because I really liked the model. Like, I loved the black with the gold detailing, and Wind Waker was one of my favorites. So it just kind of was on a whim purchase. So I played that, and I bought Splatoon pretty much as soon as it came out, and enjoyed playing online with that.
Is that like, I've been thinking about getting the second one for Switch. Is it like is it fun and active still?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It still has they do events still, and
Yeah, it still has a huge following. Even after they went to Nintendo Switch Online, a lot of people thought they would lose their player base, but nope, got bigger.
yeah, which is awesome. I mean, it's an all online game, and they still have a good following. So yeah, and played Bayonetta, which is excellent, and Xenoblade Chronicles. Oh, and I bought Breath of the Wild originally on Wii U, only to later then buy it for the Switch. But because I was being stubborn and didn't want to buy the Switch, I bought Breath of the Wild on the Wii U instead, because I was like, I'm not buying the Switch. Screw the Switch.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, how
You're angry. You had real anger in you.
I was mad. I didn't want to buy another Nintendo system so soon.
Did you feel like they'd kind of given up on the Wii U? And
you mean for the reason why I bought the Switch?
For the reason why you didn't immediately purchase the Switch?
Well, and I didn't really care for the launch titles. Like, nothing, not that the launch titles weren't great, but I just nothing sold me. And like I said, I had already had Breath of the Wild on Wii U. So I just kind of, I don't know. I didn't really press getting a Switch until a year or so after it released.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you find Breath of the Wild interesting on the Wii U, and did you then play it on the Switch?
So I actually have played more Breath of the Wild on the Wii U than I have on my Switch version, and it was pretty much the same. With the shame is that the tablet was really cool. I actually didn't mind the concept. I thought, like within Xenoblade Chronicles, having it as kind of like a map and menu system on your... I liked that, because it was just kind of always in your face. With Breath of the Wild, I don't even remember what the tablet was used for other than the controller. So it pretty much more or less was the same as it was on the Switch. And
no, the reason I ask is because there was a huge kind of back and forth when Twilight Princess came out, because Twilight Princess had come out on both the Wii and the GameCube at the same time, in which after a while people said that the GameCube version was the superior version.
It was. I beat it on GameCube.
So
Sorry,
no,
for another time.
For that, a lot of people were then saying, could we see a kind of repeat that the Wii U version would be the better version compared to the Switch? But that's not the case.
So the Breath of the Wild was developed for the Wii U. Twilight Princess was developed for GameCube, and then they tacked on motion controls for the Wii. So I think it was a little bit of a different situation.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can't honestly really speak on it, because I really didn't put much time into the Switch version. In fact, I just was sitting here thinking, I think my brother has had my copy of Breath of the Wild for like a year now.
It does not take that long to get that game.
I'm on the Switch, so that's the last time I played that. But whatever. So yeah, that was what I played. I guess I feel like I had a little bit more of a better experience with the Wii U than you guys did, but I also went in not really expecting anything and kind of left out of it. Like, I still have my Wii U and I still love it. It's a cool, nifty, different system. It's unique in its own way.
Oh, I still got mine. I played it last month.
Oh, very
last
nice.
month.
What were you playing?
Xenoblade.
Oh, there you go. Good reason to play.
That game is great.
It is great. I have actually been thinking about picking it up too.
It's just so fun. I don't know. I think more RPGs should have like machine
Picking it
guns.
back up.
It's like Jurassic Park in space.
It's really good. It is really good. Now you guys are going to make me want to play it. Anyway, so we're going to go to the PlayStation 4, which released November 15th, 2013. Eric, why don't you start us off with your PlayStation 4 recap?
So my PlayStation 4 recap is, I don't know, this is also, like I said, coming off the PS3 and 360 being like my golden age. The PS4 was something that I wanted to have right at launch. Too expensive for me at launch. I think, was it in like the $500 range or something like that?
It was pricey.
It was
I don't remember.
Well, it was not PS3 levels of pricey, right?
No, but it was still.
Yeah, it was still up there. So I waited, and I got off Craigslist. But I actually don't even really remember the first couple of games I got. I think I bought The Last of Us remastered because I wanted to play that game again in some like beautiful HD resolution, but it didn't really do that much difference. So it kind of really collected dust for a while until I got a couple of games I wanted to play, like Nier. I caught up with like Transistor, which did it not come out in the previous generation? I think it came out on 360.
It came out
and PS3.
Maybe, I don't know. Played it on Steam.
Valkyria Revolution. Like I even bought the remastered Valkyria 1 and didn't even play it. So it was kind of almost like the case with the Switch, right? It had all the games that had come out before and some newer games. But I haven't really made much use of my PS4, unfortunately.
Aww.
I think also too, by the time I got it, I had my daughter, and so trying to find time to play on a screen was just not going to happen.
That's fair. All right,
Mr. Matthew.
So, Matt, yeah.
I didn't jump on the PS4 when it came out, mainly because I was still pretty enamored with my PS3. Like, I had a lot of RPGs I was still getting through on that. So I kind of held on to it for a while and just kept playing PS3 games. And then eventually when they announced that, I think it was like Destiny was coming out about a year after the PS4 launched, and there was like a white PS4 that launched with it, then I was like, all right, that looks cool. And so I went out and picked up that one.
Do you still have that one?
No, because the Pro came out. So
fair.
And I have a 4K TV, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this because I want a Pro.
Yeah, I still have the OG one.
So I kind of like if there was a white Pro, I really like the look of it, like of the white console. I think it looks really sleek and nice. So I probably would have gotten a white one, but at the time there was only black Pros. Now there's white Pros, but anyways, I don't really care. In terms of games for it, honestly, I've had a lot of good experiences on the PS4, but I feel like a lot of them haven't been as memorable as previous generations. Like, I still get more excited about thinking about those games that I used to play on, like, PlayStation and PlayStation 2, and even PS3 to an extent.
Can I say you've actually encapsulated what I was trying to say? That pretty much the PS4 for me was fun, but I don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah, like, all of the games I've played, like, I really like them. But, like, none of them, when I think back on them, I'm like, I'm not going to put that game on a list, though. However, there are a few gems. Like, Yakuza 0 is probably in my top 10 games of all time, probably.
Oh, wow.
I think that game is perfect. I was kind of blown away by it. I had played Yakuza games before, but that one, once I started playing it, I just didn't stop till I got to the end. It was just great.
Whole nother tier.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Also, East Origin, I played on the PS4. I can't remember if it came out on PS4 originally or not.
I think it was on Vita first.
Right. But anyways, that's where I played it, and that game is great. So, super great. Especially if you like classic East games. It's a prequel to all the games, and it's got my favorite of... There's 3 different battle systems that are used across the East games over the last like 30 years, and it has my favorite of all of them. It used that one. It's a lot of fun. It's like almost an isometric 3D but action game. It's really fun. And then I enjoyed Final Fantasy 15, even though everyone hated it.
I liked it too.
Like, I was just like out with my bros, you know, just like driving around. Yeah.
You played a lot of Final Fantasy 14 too.
Oh, I did play a lot of Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, I got that on my PS4, and I hooked up a keyboard to it.
Oh.
And I think I took 2 characters to the max level, and then I got the Heaven's Word expansion. Took my characters up to the max level on that too. I was in a guild for a little while, and then I was like, all right, I want my time back, so then I stopped playing.
Speaking of online, how did that manage? Because it makes me think back to like actual online play games that I played in the PS4 was Destiny. How was Final Fantasy 14's online?
So it was optimized actually pretty well for a controller. I was surprised. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of janky, and even without a keyboard, like, you can get around. Like, it's hard to type and stuff, but you can use the touchpad as like a mouse if you ever need to select something that's not easily selectable by hitting like left and right. You can also like hotkey all of your moves to like different buttons, like holding R1 and pressing like square and stuff like that. So it worked out pretty well. Like, I felt like I was playing with a lot of people who played solely PC in my guild, and I didn't really feel like I was at a disadvantage other than maybe like macros. I couldn't do those. I think you might be able to, but I couldn't mess with it on PS4. But it's really easy to hook up a Bluetooth keyboard to the PS4. Like, you can buy a super cheap one. It hooks up right away, and you can just like have a wireless one on your lap and then type when you need to. That's what I did. But yeah, it was good. I'd recommend it if you want to play a good online game. Like, I think Final Fantasy 14 is probably the best one out there right now.
I love Destiny, the first iteration of Destiny. Once they went to 2, I gave in.
Yeah, I played a lot of the first one too. The first Destiny. That was a good game.
Vaulted Glass.
Of course, that was also came out at a time when, like, I bought the Destiny PS4, and so that was like the only PS4 game I have. So I was like, well, I'm playing Destiny. So,
what's funny, that was actually one of the games that I went from PS3 to PS4, and it was a really weird online experience.
I forgot that came out on PS3.
Yeah, I still have it. The Steelbook.
Dang.
It's worth
nothing. It's literally it's like $1.
But yeah, that's that.
Sounds like you were pretty busy actually with the PlayStation 4 compared to Eric. Eric was like, I had it for a bit.
I still play a ton of it. I just like, I love my PS4. It's probably my, well, I don't know, the Switch might be my favorite system now, but for a while it was my favorite system.
Yeah.
And I still play it often. I just, for some reason, when I think about all my favorite games, none of them are on PS4 other than Yakuza 0.
You know what it is? I still play it and I want to play it, but it's just it's like every game I have is the time sink, and I'm like, do I really want to spend that much time in a game? Like No Man's Sky, I have it.
You do.
Do I want to go back and play that for another like 60 hours to do nothing?
That's how I feel about Red Dead Redemption. I'm like, I can't sit down and play this game for 20 minutes and be satisfied. Like, you got to sink like a good 2 hours for anything to happen in that game.
Not even that. You like, I feel
Persona
like
5 is like that too.
I feel like you need to like get immersed into it, and like right when you're about to go to immerse, I don't want to like have to go to sleep to go to work. Like, I want to spend like 5 hours doing random shit. If it was Red Dead Redemption, I want to get on a horse and just ride around for like 30 minutes. Anyway.
30 minutes will get
fair,
you like
that's fair.
nowhere.
Exactly, but at least I'm in the middle of the desert riding around looking and admiring cactuses.
Heck yeah. Or finding people who are about to kill themselves. Ain't nothing but a thing.
Hey, kick them off the train tracks,
Right.
But once you get into Mexico, that's an even better world. Anyway, Joey.
All right, Joey, tell us about your PlayStation 4.
All right, PS4 is like my system. When you think Joey, I want you to think PS4. I got the launch one like probably within the week it launched, because I was able to find ones like sitting around at a Target, I think. But I still have it, and I've taken it everywhere with me. I even have the little portable screen that attaches to it. So it's been in my luggage to Texas, to the beach, wherever. I don't know, just for some reason it kind of hit me at that right point again where I had time to put into gaming, and good games were out there like Tomb Raider. I really enjoyed. I got into Final Fantasy 14 for a little bit, but not as much because I kind of enjoy single player experiences more.
Joey got to like level 12.
Yeah,
You
I
cap
enjoyed
it.
Hey, it's better than nothing.
Cap it like 50.
I enjoyed the idea of being in a guild, but I don't enjoy the required consistency.
I agree. I'm the same way, Joey.
But what else? I finally got into Uncharted because I totally skipped it on PS3, and then all the collections came out, and I played through all those. I played Cold Steel through the PlayStation Now app on the PS4 and the Vita, since it had the save transfer.
Oh, I forgot about
You're
that.
like one of the few users of PlayStation.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
I really liked PlayStation Now. It is kind of just... I like the convenience of having one system that does everything. I had the cable set up through PlayStation 4, so I was watching, regular TV through
View or whatever.
Yeah, PlayStation View. I was doing remote play on my Vita and playing old PlayStation 3 games. So I like a system that I can do everything on. Of course, I also got into the Yakuza series. Yakuza 0 really kicked off that series for me. That is the perfect game.
Mm-hmm. Had you not played the Yakuza series beforehand? Or?
I had played Yakuza, I think 3, a little bit, but when you play Yakuza 3, you'll understand like why it's really hard to get into Yakuza 3 after you've played the other ones, because it starts off in this nonsensical way. So I hadn't gotten into the series until Yakuza 0 hit.
Okay.
And it is like a perfect game. Like, that's in my top 5.
Dang,
games.
guys.
You gotta play
it.
Game.
I guess I do.
It's like the best game.
Don't give in, Courtney. I haven't yet either. They've
like
been
the
trying
other
for
games,
years.
The other games are good and all worth playing, but Yakuza 0 is like perfect.
Wait, is that the one that came with the whiskey glasses?
No, that
was 6.
See, Courtney?
See, a perfect game would come with whiskey glasses.
Yakuza 0 was the one that got on PlayStation whatever greatest hits. So it's like $20.
I have it. I just haven't played it yet.
Just take the time.
Don't do it.
Whenever you're ready.
Since you asked so nicely.
Whenever you're ready, it'll be there for you. But yeah, it'll be my system. It's got like, I'm playing probably like 5 different rhythm games on it right now, so it's gonna be in my life for a while.
What rhythm games are you playing?
I just platinumed Persona 4, dancing all night on it.
Nice.
I'm also playing the 3 and 5 dancing games, Super Beat, Sonic, and there's like 2 Miku games on it, Project Diva games, so
gotcha.
the X and the Future Tone, and that might be it.
Yeah, I saw some songs were on sale for the Golden Week sale this week for, I think it was Sonic Beat or...
Yeah,
I don't know.
They had like
Yeah.
a ton of them on there. But
Yeah.
Sonic, or I'm also playing DJ Max Respect, and I think this some of the creators from DJ Max went over to Sonic. But that game gets tough.
Does it?
That's like a whole different tier of rhythm game.
You must have the patience of a
Difficulty.
god.
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
What about you, Core?
The PlayStation 4 has basically been my system as well, but it's actually kind of been my like social system. Like, I'm constantly playing games with other people, and when I first got the PlayStation 4, I played, that Warframe, right? That was the free to play downloadable game.
Yeah, it's kind of like Destiny.
Yes.
Ish.
So I played that until Destiny came out, and I played Destiny. And then it's just kind of spiraled from there. I played Grand Theft Auto 5 for a really long time online. Overwatch came out, and I don't even want to talk about how many hours I synced into that game.
That's a good game.
You know what? It's an alright game.
What?
It's alright. Yeah, it's alright.
I really like Overwatch.
I spent a lot of money on loot boxes. That's why I feel the way I do.
Who'd you mean?
I haven't spent any money
Who
on
was
it.
my main?
Yes.
Mercy, and I did Zenyatta. I like being the healer.
Support.
Yeah, I'm very much a support player.
I was a Diva main and Lucio.
Oh,
You would play
Lucio's fun
Lucio.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means
too.
either.
I don't know. You would play Lucio because you have the microphone
Yeah.
and you're always DJing.
Yeah, of course,
And
Diva's a giant mech, so I had to play Diva.
That's fair.
So,
Played Bloodborne. Really liked that in terms of like single player.
That's a great game.
Even though you can play Bloodborne with other people, which I also did.
Yeah, but those games are like they're like pseudo multiplayer. It's like you're
Yeah.
experiencing it all together.
Well, they're not multiplayer, right? They're like a social experiment game, right? That's because
You can play together,
Yeah.
but
Like you have to go through this whole ordeal of summoning your friends and stuff.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like,
what
it's not
Demon Souls
easy.
was like, and it was really hard. I had to have like a server, like a Skype call open when I wanted to summon someone.
Yeah, pretty much. That was all part of the fun, I guess.
It's worth it.
Yeah, I really liked Bloodborne. I've enjoyed Bloodborne actually a little bit more than I've enjoyed Dark Souls, but it's only because I kind of like the dark science fiction-y like weirdness that is Bloodborne.
Bloodborne's
Whereas
like
Dark Souls is like
Lovecraftian.
dark fantasy,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely Lovecraftian.
which I like, but I just kind of like the creepy Bloodborne vibe.
It's like kind of Victorian. It's like
Mhm.
steampunky. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds fun.
Cryptid crap. And played Fallout 4 a lot when it came out in terms of single player. Beat Kingdom Hearts 3 in a week. Yeah. So there's a lot of single player games I enjoyed as well, but it's definitely been my go-to multiplayer game system. Like last night I was playing Don't Starve with a friend. Just Don't Starve together. I just pick it up and I play with somebody. Oh, and I've been playing Borderlands, the 4K remaster recently on it. So
I'm all in for Borderlands 3, guys. By the way,
hell yeah, you are. Did you?
Let's start a guild.
I don't want to get off topic, but I am too.
I mean, it's a PS4 game.
It is a PS4 game, but we don't have it yet, so there's no memories yet.
True,
We'll get
but-
there.
but I'm
We'll
all
get
for
there. Yes, perfect.
What was your initial opinion on Fallout 4?
I liked it. I wasn't really... See, I don't have high expectations of many games, so I go in with low expectations. How I treat most of life in general.
Why is that? Because you're a reasonable person?
But
That's why
I
she's
go
on the
with-
podcast with us. She's like, I have low expectations for you guys. You guys did all right.
No, it's how I've treated everything. But I thought it was really cool. It's massive. I liked that I could romance a ghoul.
Oh, boy.
That gave it points for me. And he's like drug addicted but really sweet.
It's how a most abusive relationship lines start. Jesus, Courtney.
It's like that ticks all my boxes.
Undead, drug addicted, but really good personality.
Oh, she's so
But yeah.
sweet, right?
So I really liked Fallout 4, and the DLC was pretty solid, and worth the price when it had come out, which I think it was like $30 for the season pass, 30 or 40, and there was 4 pretty big DLCs. So I thought that was worth it. It was, Fallout 4, right before Bethesda kind of stabbed us all in the side and said, hey, screw you guys. How's
Yeah.
Fallout 76 treating you? Yeah, no.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that kind of finishes me. So we'll go to Xbox One, which released November 22nd, 2013, which was about a week after PlayStation 4. Eric, what is your comment on that?
I made a bad joke before we even started this, but I mean, I'm not going to repeat the joke. Anyway,
Do it. Repeat it. Do it.
Xbox One, more like Xbox None. No,
Oh.
yes, very bad. You made me do it.
We'll edit that in post.
No, I didn't own an Xbox One, and I don't think I really had any intention to own an Xbox One. And I know that Matt's going to point out that there was backwards compatibility, but that was not available until much later.
That's fair.
So still not an interest even till then, because I still had an Xbox 360.
That's fair.
So
So that's that, huh?
yeah, zero comment really. I didn't own it, so I can't comment anymore on it.
You didn't own it at all, ever?
Nope, it wasn't one of those systems that I like picked up and then was like, this isn't good, got rid of.
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. I respect that. All right, Matt. What about you?
I mean, Eric kind of already spoiled mine.
Yeah.
Aww.
Did that on purpose.
Eric, you.
He was like, Matt's gonna say this.
Okay,
No.
we'll skip you, Matt.
No, I'm not. Joking. I bought one like a year or so after it came out, I think. And then I realized like every game that comes out, I just buy for PS4. So I sold it on, I don't know, Facebook Marketplace or like Craigslist or something. And it was when I first moved down to North Carolina. I sold it. And the guy who bought it from me met me in a Target parking lot with like a revolver strapped to his hip. And so I was like, man, I really hope this guy's okay with the price. Because if he tries to negotiate now, I'm just going to say yes and give it to him.
Well, like, I really hope he knows that there's no games for this system.
But I mean, he was a nice guy. He was just like, oh, thanks, man. And he just took it. Like, North Carolina's open carry. So, like, I guess I'm assuming he had a license, but it's still, like, kind of freaked me out. My, like, first transaction in North Carolina, a guy brings a gun to it.
You don't bring a gun to a Xbox
To an Xbox fight?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just coming from Maryland, like, you don't see that kind of thing, because I grew up there. So, well,
I was going to say, what parts of Maryland?
not where I lived. I mean,
okay.
I mean, you might see them, but they're not, like, blatantly out there. You'll see it, like, when a guy, like, stretches, you'll see a gun. And you're like, okay, let's get out. But, yeah, once it became backwards compatible, I picked up the Slim, and I still have it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I play Lost Odyssey on it. Sometimes I play Knights of the Old Republic on it. I have a few Xbox One games.
But most of the time,
I don't play them. So normally my daughter really likes that Disneyland game, so she plays the Xbox One more than anyone
Was it
else.
Disney Infinity?
No, it's like called Disneyland, and you can walk around. It has like a 1-to-1 scale of the Disneyland park.
Wow.
And there's like a bunch of mini games, and my daughter really likes to play them.
Do they have that on PS4?
No, it's like
no.
like Microsoft. It's a Microsoft exclusive.
God damn it. Do you see how excited I'm getting over this?
Yeah.
Obviously, for reasons that don't mean anything to me, but
You can get it on Windows. Well, speaking of which, well, actually, I'll talk about it when we talk about the Switch, but I got a recommendation for you.
okay.
In regards to that.
All right. So does that wrap you up?
That I'm all wrapped up
All right.
with a bow.
How about you, Joey?
Well, the Xbox appeals to me. I've also, like the Wii U, I've owned an Xbox One probably like 3 times now, and the one I currently own, I'm trying my best not to sell it. But every time Microsoft has an E3 presentation, I don't understand what they're doing with this system. I don't understand the future. I don't understand the past, and I'm not interested in the present.
All right. So I guess I see I'm alone in feeling like the Xbox is actually a
Sorry,
really
Cor.
nice system with a nice interface, but okay. So does that wrap you up as well, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think everything about the system is so sleek. There's some meat missing for some reason.
No,
It
I get
just
it.
sucks. I get it.
I used it for backwards compatibility. I have been buying Xbox 360 games because I don't have my Xbox 360 still. I bought it when it released, and I still have that same system. I haven't upgraded. I got the Rare Replay, which is also, again, just ports of old games, but whatever.
No, the Rare Replay is nice.
It is. No, it's really great.
I've owned that game like 4 times.
What, the Rare Replay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
worth it.
I've yet to play it.
It's on Game Pass now.
I've like bought it and sold
Which
it.
Game Pass is great.
Mm-hmm.
Game Pass is worth it.
It is.
Like, you could just buy an Xbox and just not buy games. Just
This
pay
is true.
pay $10 a month.
That's how I felt for PS Gold for a while, or whatever it was, but then crappy stuff coming out.
Mm-hmm. So I still play mine. I've been playing the Sea of Thieves, actually, since the new content came out, new story and
So how is
missions.
the new stuff? Because I played it for like a couple of minutes when it first came out, and it just seemed not finished.
And that's fair. I also feel like it's a lot better when you have people to play with. Like, I had tried playing by myself, and I definitely did not get the same experience or joy as I get when I'm playing with a full crew of 4 people.
Yeah, I don't have friends, so
Aw,
it's a luxury some of us
play.
don't have.
It's fun with 2 people even. If you want to play, just hit me up. But yeah, I think it's a good time, and it's just kind of mindless. I don't know, you just shoot the shit with friends and sail the seas and fight krakens. It's a good time. Living my best pirate fantasies. So, yeah, no hate for the Xbox from me. I mean, I get the no meat comment. Any game that is coming out for the PlayStation and the Xbox, I am definitely probably picking it up for the PlayStation. But I guess it's just because I have more friends on the PlayStation, and it's just my default system anyway. But I still think the Xbox One is still a lovely, lovely gal. She's great. That wraps me up.
Courtney has so many friends.
I know.
I have.
Look at us.
It's because she's social, Blackwelds. Or Matt, you know.
You have to like go outside and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Joey was in hell when we went to AwesomeCon together.
Yeah, man.
She was like high-fiving and hugging everyone. Joey's like, oh, goddamn, not again.
That was like, you know, out of the womb type fear. Like, what is this world?
So we'll go to the Nintendo Switch, which is the last system I really have written down for this current generation. Released March 3rd, 2017. But the, what is it? Oh God. I don't know what phrase I was going to use for it. The tortoise and the hare kind of thing. You know, the Switch is really embracing itself.
The slow bird gets the worm.
The slow bird. Caw-caw. All right, Eric. Let's talk about the Switch.
Where am I going? I don't know what transition we just had right there, but all right. It's getting late. Some of us haven't slept.
Yep, probably.
No, so Nintendo Switch, right? I think it was an extremely hyped system. I think it was done right in a way. I mean, from a marketing standpoint. Wait, where am I even going with this?
No, what? Just talk about the Switch and the games you're playing on it, what you've enjoyed on it.
Well, I mean, I've had it since day one. Literal release first week, I gave up a lot of things for it. I paid the Switch tax. But it's been a fantastic system, and I think I went so hard in it because I wanted something that was supposed to be that PS Vita Part 2 that we never got. But it's a fantastic system, and I think Matt can also talk about how everything just feels right on it. Every role-playing game that was ever released on other systems just fit. Even other games that you wouldn't think fit, like Valkyria Chronicles, it wasn't supposed to be released. It got released, and it just fits perfectly on the system as a pick up and go. There's so many games that I would not play on other systems now. I don't know.
So the Switch is just your go-to.
I honestly think it's the perfect blend of the home console and portable console that we were looking at for such a long time.
So do you like it more than you like your Vita?
Yes.
All
I mean, the Vita holds a special place in my heart, and all those games I still will play at one point if they haven't made their way to the Switch. But I know the Switch initially got a lot of crap because of that it was kind of a just a transition system, right? Everything that was on the Wii U has made its way over to the Switch, and people were talking about the Switch isn't going to get its own games. But I honestly think it was a good move for the first year or two to pick up where the failure of the Wii U was.
It's in a unique position though, because a lot of those games you would never have them on handheld. It changes things.
In what way?
I feel like they're more accessible.
Well, that
Like
too.
you can play it on your couch if you want the normal way, but like also you can just pick it up and go. And there's a lot of games on Switch that you couldn't do that with before, like Diablo or Skyrim. I know everyone makes fun of that, but like it being portable is actually pretty cool.
I thought you were going to go in a different direction, but what I was thinking was more so in terms of RPGs, right?
Well, I can go in that direction too.
Well, I meant not only from the, if you're sitting on your couch, a lot of older RPGs or even some more recent ones still require you to grind for levels, right? So sitting on a couch, you'd have to dedicate 2 hours of gaming to like, I got to go a couple levels or just kind of like push through. But taking it on a handheld system is
then you can do it in bed or
on the train, on the treadmill.
on your lunch break.
But what I was actually going to say too is that it gives a lot more precedence to having something almost always readily available, so that if you wanted to say look up part of the lore or like take notes, it's almost easier to have it next to you while you're looking at a computer screen or like a notebook or something like that.
I don't think I've taken notes on a video game since like 1995.
Man, I take notes still.
Come on, man. Passwords.
Gotta get those platinum trophies, man.
But even like Wargroove, right? Wargroove is supposed to be like Advanced Wars, or even Valkyria Chronicles, when I was writing down like, okay, who pairs well with who gives the secret abilities,
Well, Eric, old school.
I just Google it again on my phone.
Eric uses the notes section in the back of the manual.
Oh, God. I used to always hate when I would get one of those games from like GameStop, like a used game,
And then
like,
like everything written in
and
it.
like Johnny had notes in it. I was like, damn it, Johnny, get your notes out of here.
The worst was when Johnny was written on the disc.
Yeah, oh man,
Impermanent marker.
Yes.
it's like Johnny's game, like on the cover.
Not your game anymore, damn it, Johnny.
You know his ma just made him do that.
Like,
Come on.
Johnny, if you're gonna do that, don't trade it in.
But no, I mean it's got a lot of. I think the Switch has a lot of potential right now for what it is, and I don't even know if potential is the right word, but it's a great system. Hollow Knight is a fantastic game that. It wasn't a Switch exclusive, right? It came out on Steam.
It was a PC game first.
Yeah, but I think it flourished more so on the Switch.
Yeah, it found new life on Switch.
I think it was on Wii U as well.
I don't know about that, but okay. We'll take a look.
Let's just leave it a mystery.
Let me mansplain this.
Golf Story. That one was definitely a Switch exclusive, and probably one of the best golf games I've ever played. That says a lot. We've talked about it in other podcasts, but being able to revisit RPGs that I've started or haven't ever been able to play, like Tales of Vesperia, Final Fantasy 12 that's just come out, and Splatoon 2 for me, right? I didn't have a Wii U, and I know Splatoon was huge, but once it came out on the Wii, on the Switch, and it was free online, that was the game I picked up and put like hours into a night.
Mm-hmm. It's a good game to sit and just binge.
It's also like wholesome in a way, right? You're just shooting each other with paint.
That's true.
And, it's like I shot you. You turned into this little squid thing. My ink did something. All right.
All right, Eric, is that?
Yeah, that's it.
Yours. All right, Matt, on to you.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Eric. Well, since I had a kid, portable gaming seems to work better for my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And I still play my PSP and my Vita a lot, but the Switch is just a really cool system. I really like it. I also Xenoblade Chronicles 2 like blew me away. I really like that game. Like I'm actually playing through it a second time right now.
I still
like,
never
on and
even
off,
finished it.
which I never do for games, unless it gets like remastered like 10 years later. Played a lot of Hollow Knight on it as well. Eric already talked about that one, but that game is quite good, especially if you like Metroidvanias. I played a lot of Stardew Valley on it as well, and I actually had Stardew Valley. I had it on PC and put like 100 hours into it there. I had it on PS4, and then it came out for Switch, and I bought it there too, and I still play it sometimes on Switch. Like, that's a really great game, and it's so relaxing. Like, it's a good de-stressor.
It is.
But I think it's like at home on the Switch. Like, it's like the perfect system for it. And then Eric, I was going to tell you about Yoshi's Crafted World. I just beat that with my daughter like yesterday, and by beat it I mean my daughter beat every single level, and I helped her on like 2.
Aw.
I thought it was going to be like very reminiscent of like the Kirby game. My daughter was not feeling the Kirby game.
My daughter was not feeling the Kirby game either. But this game has like a mellow mode. So like if you play on mellow mode, your Yoshi has wings, and when you hold A, you can flutter forever.
Oh.
And so it makes it kind of a lot easier. Like if they're about to fall off, they can just hold A and flutter forever and like kind of move around. And it's actually almost like Stardew Valley type of, like, the music and everything is like super relaxing, and it's just like a chill game. But the boss fights are still kind of fun. They're easy, but they're fun. And there's some hard stuff too that she can't do, but she pretty much beat the whole game on her own.
Nice.
As a 4-year-old.
So level up.
It's
Yeah.
impressive.
I would recommend it.
I think I tried giving her like the original Mario, and she was like, "I don't want to play this."
My daughter like loves Mario and loves watching it, but then once she plays it, she gets real frustrated because you die a lot. That's one thing that like Yoshi's Crafted World took out of the equation. Like, she still dies sometimes, but anytime you die, you just bubble, and they put you back to the beginning unless you lose all your health, and then you have to start the level over from the last checkpoint.
These kids ain't tough.
Yeah,
But
they didn't grow up on the like Dead Souls or Dark Souls.
well, like when we were kids, we would just get mad and like throw the controller and like break it.
Never play the game again.
Yeah, like our parents weren't playing the game with us. Like if I'm sitting there playing with my daughter and she's like freaking out, I'm like, all right, we need to learn about being okay with trying things again.
She never played
So-
Shinobi.
This game like really catered well to that, so I was really impressed with it. So yeah, check it out.
Cool.
And
Cool.
also, like, if you're not a 4-year-old, I think it's still fun. Like, there's a ton of stuff to collect. Like, I had fun playing it. And some of the levels, like, if you can't flutter forever and you turn that off, they're legitimately challenging. It's a fun game. The last Yoshi game I played was on the Nintendo 64. So,
Oh, dang.
yeah.
All right.
Yoshi's World, right?
Yep.
Does that wrap you up, Matt?
I'm all wrapped up.
All right. Joey.
All right, well, I'm cautiously entering the Nintendo Switch world. I think on past really old podcast episodes, it was kind of a running thing that I was the only one. Like, we all slowly succumbed to purchasing the Switch, and I held out the longest. But I got it, and I think it's a good system. I think it's going to be a great system, just because of it's hot enough to get the right games for everyone. But it's not my main system yet, and a big reason for that I think is because I don't have to game on the go very often, and I'm a little bit cautious still because Nintendo annoyed me by giving up on various gimmicks they've tried to do with things, like the 3D on the 3DS and the additional screen on the Wii U. And I feel like they're going to abandon the little side controllers at some point because they're selling pro controllers anyway. So I'm still cautious. And the other thing that kind of keeps me from diving into it is that the ecosystem still feels kind of dead. Whereas, like, PlayStation, like, I can immediately go on and see what my friends had been playing, and not just, like, what they're currently playing, but what they've been playing for, like, the past 30 days. And I can see the latest trophies they've gotten. And I can see and gain achievements, which I think is, for me, is a really nice addition to any system. And then PlayStation just has really good sales, and I have like a deep library on it already. So I haven't switched over yet, but I think eventually it's going to replace the Vita and 3DS for me.
Yeah.
Golf Story, like Eric is saying, or was saying, is a really good game. That's probably in my top 15 list of games.
All right.
And then Octopath Traveler, while I burnt out on it, is probably the next game that I put in the most hours into.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to what it has in its future, and I'm hoping it grows into something really cool. What about you, Courtney?
Before me, I mean, was there a certain game that sold you onto the Switch? Like the reason you picked it up? Not really.
I mean, Zelda was kind of that first game, Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
It was because Eric and I both got it, and then he was left out.
It was peer pressure.
Yeah, that too. When you're, I don't know, buying systems is kind of one of the most.
We were like shitting on him daily about it.
Aw, you jerks.
Yeah.
Aww.
Peer pressure. No, I think I wanted to play Breath of the Wild, and I still do, but open world games are just hard for me to get into sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very open world. All right. I am kind of in the same boat as you, Joey. I haven't really kind of dived in completely with the Switch. I'm just kind of now getting into it more. I just recently beat the Katamari Reroll, which was a super fun game to have on the Switch. Just kind of a cozy little easy pick up and put down game. I got Breath of the Wild eventually for the Switch, but again, I didn't put as much time into the Switch version as I did the Wii U. Splatoon 2, like Eric said, is just kind of a fun game to sit down and play for a couple hours, paint walls and paint other squid people different colors. And
sounds like some hippie game.
paint the walls red. But and like Matt said, Stardew Valley has been a really good game on the Switch, and so I've put some time into that as well.
If you have an anxiety disorder, just get Stardew Valley.
That game gives me anxiety. I've told you.
No,
this.
man, it doesn't matter. Like there's a timer, but like you can never miss anything. It's fine. Just do your thing.
Say until my stuff starts dying. Get weeds growing.
You just plant them again.
I can't date Leia if I don't give her the gift she wants.
Goddamn flowers! I don't know who to give the flowers to.
Right? Who likes them? That guy doesn't like him. Does she like him? I have no clue.
Goddamn it! I ate my flower once. I was trying to give it to her and I ate it.
See? You just imagine that scenario. Like you come up to the girl you want and you just shove flowers in your face. She's like, "Oh, that's cute."
And then you go, "These are for you."
Baby bird them to her. It's great. Chicks love that. Anyway, that's all I have to say for the Switch.
Its future is bright.
Yes, it is. It does have a very bright future. So I guess that wraps up our Games of Our Lives. That's only gone on for 4 episodes for 4 parts. Thank you everybody who listened with us and walked with us through our lives and through our memories, and hopefully some of you can share some of your memories on social media, tweet at us, Instagram us, and kind of tell us your favorite generations, your favorite games, and what you think the future of gaming will bring.
You can find us anywhere that podcasts are streaming at this point. And you can also watch this podcast on YouTube if you want to stare at a screen that says Geek Envy for an hour. But please do, because every like matters. And give us a like and subscribe on anything you listen to us on. And you can also find us at geekenvy.podbean.com. We're also on Instagram and Twitter at Geek Envy, and we've got some business cards floating out there in the ether of primarily the East Coast. So if you find one of those and tag us on social media, we'll shout you out on our next podcast. And if you have comments, suggestions, questions, or concerns, you can email us at askgeekenvy@gmail.com. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Say goodbye, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.